Welcome to the classroom. Today's subject is structure, part 2. In an earlier classroom session, we covered the basics about structure. In that classroom session, we said when Buck Perry coined the word structure, breaks, and break lines, he was referring to the bottom of the lake that was different from the surrounding area. We also said when fish move on structure, they use the breaks and break lines that are on the structure. Fishing the breaks and the break lines are the key to finding the fish. Not all structures are the same. Some will rarely be used by the fish, while others may be used a lot. Buck Perry has said the key to successful fishing is for us to be able to separate good-looking structure from productive structure. Here are some things to keep in mind when looking for productive structure. Fish will not cross a flat that is void of any breaks or break lines. So in order for a structure to be productive, it must have immediate access to deep water. So let's take a look at an example. In the first bar may look good, but upon further investigation, we see does not have immediate access to deep water. There is a flat between the bar and the deep water. We see that the drop-off is at the deep water and not at the bar. Fish will not cross a flat that is void of any breaks or break lines. Now let's look at this structure situation. Here we have two bars. As you can see, one bar goes to the deep water and the other does not. The bar that goes to the deep water will be used as a migration route by the fish. The bar with the flat in between the deep water will not be productive. Many fishermen spend an entire day fishing a good-looking structure but an unproductive structure. Now the situation may change if there were breaks on the flat that the fish could see and use. If we had a break in the form of a tree on the deep break line and within visible distance there was a rock pile and then a stump and then another rock pile at the end of the bar, the structure now may become productive. Some structures may be made up of a single break line or multiple break lines. The very last break line is referred to as the drop-off. When we discuss the basic movements of fish, we define shallow water as anything shallower than 8 to 10 feet. A structure with a shallow drop-off will not be productive structure. Most weather and water conditions will not allow the fish or the school of fish to move that shallow most of the time. Let's take another look at a couple of structures to help clarify this. As you can see, both these bars go to deep water. One of the bars has a drop-off at 9 feet and the other has a drop-off at 16 feet. The bar with the 16-foot drop-off will be a lot more productive than the bar with a 9-foot drop-off. When viewing a map of a lake, you should find the deep water, then look for good structure, breaks, and break lines in relationship to the deep water. You will just about be guaranteed to find the most productive structures and the best structures. Let's take a look at another structure. Here we have a big wide bar. There are many fingers and points on this bar. They are labeled A, B, C, and D. The depth on each finger is different. On point A, it breaks from 12 feet to 16 feet. Point B breaks from 18 feet to 23 feet. And point C breaks from 16 to 20 feet. And point D breaks from 9 to 12 feet. What finger do you think would be the contact point? It looks like the deepest water is off of point B. And point B also has the deepest break at 18 feet. And it also has the sharpest break too. It's pretty obvious. In this case, the contact point on this structure would be point B. If we were fishing this structure, we would start shallow and strain the water progressively, working out deeper. We would check all the fingers and points to see if any fish were present. If we did not find the fish active or moving on the structure, we would then concentrate our efforts at the contact point, which would be finger B. So when you're fishing a lake, make sure you're spending your time fishing productive structures. Like Buck says, you can have structure with no fish, but you will always have fish on structure. For more information on this classroom subject, as well as any others, check out structurefishing.com/education.